there's not an angler these days that doesn't have a smartphone, and most of us will take out our smartphone to use when taking pictures of our captures. And only would we sort of bother with the main sort of big cameras if we got something very, very special. 99% of the time, you know, we're wading through fish. You want something that's going to be quick, easy and effective, and something that is foolproof that you can do yourself on the bank. Now, the setup I have here, and I'm going to show you, is very, very cheap to put together. Most of the stuff that you can buy for this is available on Amazon or eBay, or there's a number of other places you can buy these things, but they're very cheap. So what we're doing is we're setting ourselves up that we can use our smartphone as our main camera and capture decent shots, especially at night, because there's no excuse these days to sack up fish, you know, for long periods, especially in the summer months. But nighttime shots are the right time shots. You have to be able to sort of get those fish back in the water and not be sacking them up for hours. You know, while you're setting yourself up, when you've caught your fish, leave it in the landing net and then get yourself ready with the camera system that I'm going to show you, and you're good to go. It's really quick, it's really easy. Now, this particular setup was shown to me by one of my fishing buddies, Darren. He was doing it, and I thought it's similar to what I was doing, but way better, so I've adopted his system, and I'm going to show you what it is now. So the setup is really simple. I have my phone held by a phone holder that has a tripod mount on it, and that allows me to use my phone on a bank stick. And you know, if you've got rock hard ground, you can buy a very cheap little tripod that will cost you maybe 10 quid on Amazon, and you're good to go. But this one allows me to screw it into the ground, and it's not lovely and stable, especially if it's a bit windy. And then I take my phone off it and leave it in situ the whole session long. Once I've caught a fish and I'm ready to start doing what I have to do, the pictures, just clip in the phone and press the camera on, take a couple of shots to test that I've got everything frame right, go back round, check the footage, see that I'm happy with the shots I'm getting, and then I go and get my fish, and then it's off you go. For nighttime shots, I employ the two outer bank sticks, and they're set up all the time, and I have little holders in them that take the Ridge Monkey lights that are the bivvy lights, and they're really super handy. Now, I happen to have the lights already, so I didn't have to go out and buy new ones, but you can buy very cheap external lights that are LED and have the frosted glass at the front, so that, you know, you're not going to get blown out by very strong light. And most of them are adjustable as well. And for nighttime shots, I just turn these onto full and illuminate the area, pick up my fish, either have it on video mode or I have it on photo mode on my phone. And then there's a setting that allows me to talk to the phone, and I'm going to go through that in a second. But this will give you very, very good footage that's good enough to be putting up on social media anyway. I can take the lamps off, put them back in the bivvy when I'm not using it, if it's raining or anything, and then when I need to, I just clip them back on because they're magnetized and they just slot back on. And if you buy something similar, it's going to do the same job. I have an iPhone. Other smartphones have the same sort of functionality, but just do it differently. Now you can actually purchase apps or download apps onto your phone that do something similar, but I personally don't like using them because they use their own settings on the camera system that I'm not really mad about. So I prefer to allow the iPhone do what it does best and use it in its native state. The way I access or can actually talk to my phone to take a picture remotely is very, very simple. On the phone itself, you have the settings. Now, as I said, this is an iPhone. If you're using a Samsung or Google phone or any other phone that's out there, once it's a smartphone, it will have the features that you can use. You just have to map it in differently, and you have to work out how you do that. And in fairness, Google's going to be your friend on that one. You go into settings on the iPhone, you go into the accessibility, and then over to voice control. You turn voice control on. Once you've turned voice control on, what will happen is it will allow you say the phrase turn volume up. And once that happens, it will internally hit the up volume button, which is also on an iPhone. You can use that as a shutter button. So it will actually take a picture. Make sure if you're using your lights to turn off the flash, because the lights will do it all for you. You won't need the flash at all. And as I said, the way you can also set it up in the camera app is that once you hit the shutter button, you can set it so that it will take 1, 2 or 3 seconds for it to actually engage and take the shot. So if you're not comfortable holding a fish and saying it all in one go and then trying to smile, you can have it so that it's delayed. And then you can say turn volume up, and then you can do your smiling and posing, and off you go. This is probably one of the cheapest and easiest ways to actually get great shots. And when you're on your own, or even if you don't trust the fishing partner you're with for being good with a phone or a camera, which does happen. Not everyone's, David Bailey, but it's a great way of monitoring it yourself and making sure that you get the right shot that you're happy with. Because, as I said, you'll take a few shots, you can move backwards, forwards with the fish, take a few shots, and then put the fish back down, cover it up, quickly run, make sure by pressing your phone app to show you the picture that you've taken. If you're happy with what you've got, fish goes back and no harm done. I can't stress enough that keeping fish overnight, waiting for the light to get right before you catch the right shot, it's just such bad practice, and it's not good for the fish and it's not good for you. Because if anybody sees you doing it, you're going to have a fairly tarnished name. Because let's face it, it's not best practice for carp. And I've just witnessed it so many times where people, are leaving fish in slings for hours waiting for the light just to get right to take a shot. And, the most I would ever do is leave them in 15-20 minutes. If you're just borderline, the sun's beginning to break out and the light's lifting, 15-20 minutes in this, landing net, or if you wanted to leave them in a retainer, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's perfect practice. But as I said, if you're leaving them for a couple of hours waiting from darkness to light, it's just not really good practice, and you need to stop that. And the best way to do it is to have a system like this that doesn't break the bank. It's really easy to put up, very, very functional, and does everything it says on the tin. Quick, easy shots, job done. I hope this helps you, because it's helped me in my fishing achieve basic shots that, if I'm just catching smaller fish and I don't really need a professional camera system taking the shots, my phone will do the trick and I'm happy out with the results I'm getting, and they're perfectly acceptable for social media use. Outside of that, as I said, if you want to do run-off prints and blow them up a little bit for walls in sheds or in fishing rooms, you might want to move over to a more upmarket professional camera to get that kind of quality. But most of us aren't doing that. So, as I said, this is a great system to get you over the line and getting you your perfect shots for when you're fishing. See you soon.